Hello and welcome, everyone. You're joining us for another installment of Kalkine Media's InvestNest webinar series. Today's session is titled, What's Next for Platina Resources Gold Strategy? I'm Monica, anchor and reporter with Kalkine TV, and I'll be your moderator for today. Before we begin, a quick note. This webinar is for informational purposes only. It is not financial advice, nor a solicitation or recommendation to invest. Kalkine Media is not licensed to provide investment advice on this platform. Now, the Invest Nest webinar series aims to bring our audience face to face with industry leaders to share their company's vision, strategy, and long term potential. We also uncover the personal stories of resilience, leadership, and innovation that drive these journeys. Today's event will include a 15 minutes presentation followed by a 5 minutes Q&A session. Feel free to post your questions in the Q&A chat box during the presentation. Our speaker will address them live, and if time doesn't permit, you can email them to info@calkinemedia.com and we'll ensure your queries are answered. Now let's set the stage. Gold prices have recently hit record highs. For instance, spot gold has crossed the 4,000 US dollars per ounce mark for the first time ever. This breathtaking rally reflects surging investor demand for safe haven assets amid global uncertainty, inflation concerns, and expectation of future interest rate cuts. As gold draws renewed attention, the sector is opening up fresh avenues for growth and capital investment. In this session, we will explore those evolving dynamics and take a look at how Platina Resources Limited, the ticker code for the company is PGM, is positioning itself at the forefront of gold exploration and value creation. Platina is an Australian exploration business focused on advancing early stage metal projects through exploration, feasibility studies, permitting, and development. It's important to note they hold a promising portfolio of gold projects in Western Australia, including the Mt McKenna Gold Project in the Eastern Goldfields, where they have recently secured cultural heritage clearance to commence exploration. Then their phase 2 air core drilling program at the Beete project, which has already identified new exploration targets and will guide follow-up work. So it's my pleasure to now introduce our speaker. We have with us today the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Platina Resources Limited, Mr. Corey Nolan, a seasoned executive with over 30 years of experience in resource project acquisition, funding, exploration, and development. He previously served as CEO of Sayona Mining Limited, where he led the growth of OTA lithium project in Canada, overseeing the resource expansion, metallurgical programs, and feasibility studies. He has also held senior roles with Legion Resources and Elementals Limited. Now, Mr. Nolan also holds a Bachelor of Commerce, a Master's in Mineral and Energy Economics, and he is a graduate of Australian Institute of Company Directors. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Corey Nolan, who will now take us through Platina's Resources gold strategy, recent developments, and forward roadmap. Mr. Nolan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Monica, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this presentation on Platina Resources. So Platina Resources is a West Australian-focused gold exploration company. We have a portfolio of projects in the Yilgarn Craton in Western Australia, which is a premier leading, world-class gold exploration province on the planet. And we believe that our exploration projects provide an opportunity for significant share price upside leverage to any discovery success. And so our strategy is to find or to develop projects in areas where we believe that we have the potential to define at least 1 million ounces. And 1 million ounces is what you really need in this day and age to have a standalone operation. And so we're targeting the greenstone belts in the Yilgarn region, and we're looking for areas where there's major fault or crustal type boundaries, which can provide conduits for gold mineralization to come to surface, and other sorts of second and third order structures or igneous type intrusions that again can provide conduits for mineralization to come up into the greenstone rocks. So that's pretty much our strategy. And it's just worth noting that in the last 12 months, there's been a host of companies that have made either significant brownfield discoveries like Spartan Resources, or other new companies like the Ordell Minerals, which only listed last year. And if you can achieve making a good discovery, you will get really well rewarded in the market for it. So it's a really exciting time to be a gold exploration company at the moment. As Monica mentioned, the gold price had passed through $4,000 an ounce overnight, and we're not expecting to see that gold price appreciation slow down anytime soon. There's fantastic momentum behind the gold price. It's up over 45% this year. It's really being treated as a safe haven asset, a great hedge against inflation, currency depreciation, and some of the economic uncertainty that we're seeing in the world, like the US level of debt and their trade deficit. And it's been well supported by central bank buying, and also it's worth noting that it's a good form of diversification in portfolios. And the outlook, in our opinion, looks really attractive. So, it's great to have that price momentum behind us as we get close to commencement of drilling. So, the reason we believe that we're a really attractive company is primarily for three things. We're targeting world-class gold districts that are really very geologically attractive for finding million-ounce ore bodies. We're extremely well funded, so we've got $11 million in the bank, and that enables us to do a significant amount of drilling without having to raise any new capital or dilute our shareholders. And I guess the last piece of that puzzle is that we believe we're a team that's got a good track record in our previous roles to execute the strategy. So Rowan Deshpande, our exploration manager, he's an exploration geologist with over 15 years, all primarily focused on Western Australia. He's operated in the Yilgarn, and he's operated in the Pilbara, and he was previously part of the exploration team that discovered the Hemi deposit of De Grey mining, which obviously went on to become a 11 million ounce ore body, and recently taken over by Northern Star. So we believe that Rowan brings a lot of critical skills to us in terms of delivering our next phase of growth. Myself, I've been involved in the industry for over 30 years, primarily involved in finding asset opportunities, putting into public companies, getting funding into those companies, and maturing those projects through exploration towards development. When I was at Sayona Mining, was the CEO there for over 3 years. I established our Canadian footprint, and we went through a whole series of drilling programs and feasibility programs, and that company went on to become a $2.5 billion company at the peak of the lithium boom. And I'm quite heavily involved in some non-competing businesses. I'm a non-executive director of Elementos, which is an exciting tin development company. So got some, I think between us, we both have a significant amount of experience in the business. So our three key projects all generate really good news flow for us. Several weeks ago, we announced the acquisition of our new Mt McKenna project at Laverton, and we're rapidly working on progressing that to drilling phase, hopefully by November this year. And then we've got our Beete project where we've done a number of drill programs, and we'll be looking to drill that again next year. And we have our Brimstone project near Kalgoorlie, where we're in the process of exploring some options on how we can unlock some value there and potentially become a small-scale gold producer. So our Mt McKenna project, it's located in the Eastern Goldfields, just to the northeast of Laverton. It's a 178 square package of tenements. It's very close to the Genesis Minerals Laverton project, which is highlighted in green, abutting our Mt McKenna tenement there. They paid $250 million for that 4 million ounces. There's a number of deposits spread out along the Barnacote and the Apollo fault structures there, and it's a really exciting to have such a large tenement capturing such a large piece of greenstone, and there's lots of different styles of mineralization for finding gold in this area. And in fact, this area is, as you can see, very prospective. There's a number of large world-class operations, both open cut and underground, and it's a really exciting place to go exploring. Most of these deposits tend to be quite high grade, sort of 1.5 to 2 grams, and the majority of them have fairly straightforward metallurgy. So we're located very close to Laverton. It's only 13 kilometres. There's several access roads. There's an airport into Laverton. There's accommodation, hospitals, skilled workforce available. So that all just contributes to maximising our time on the ground, which we're about to explore here all year round, and keep our cost structure low, because we'll be able to have people stay in existing facilities and travel in and out of the project pretty quickly. There's multiple gold exploration processing plants within a 50-kilometre radius of this tenement, which gives us alternative places to monetize any gold resources that we identify. We believe this is a really attractive geological tenement for a number of reasons. So there's a belt of greenstones that pretty much run for 25 kilometres north-south through the tenement package. It's traversed by the Granite Well Fault, which is a mantle tapping fault. Gives us the ability to have fluids come up those structures and deposit into the greenstones. And there's also a number of different types of intrusive rocks here that also provide additional conduits for bringing mineralisation in. So it's a really exciting area for gold exploration. And we also have this quite large layered ultramafic nickel target on the eastern side of the tenement. That won't be sort of a focus of us in the near term, but it's certainly something interesting if the nickel market was going to turn. Whilst this project is located quite close to Laverton, it doesn't actually have a lot of recent systematic exploration activities. Most of the work, which was soil sampling and relatively shallow RAB drill holes, goes back to the 1990s. And we believe that this system has not been sufficiently tested, and that there's a significant amount of work that needs to be followed up to really test the true potential of this tenement. One of the reasons that we're really excited by this tenement was that we met some prospectors that had been working here for over 10 years. They actually were the ones that pegged the tenement, and we acquired it from them. But you can see the photo there. They've been finding a significant number of gold nuggets over the tenement area, and they also did some rock chip sampling, and you can see some really high grade rock chips sample results, and you can also see that there was a little bit of shallow historical drilling, quite low grade, but it gives us some confidence that there is the potential width and mineralization to host a gold deposit here. So our strategy is quite simple. We're going to break the tenement up into small pieces, and we've got currently 5 key target areas defined. We're going to initially start working around our target 2 area. That's where all the gold nuggets have been found, and that's where some of the historical work outlining structural and lithological zones and some of the historical rock chip and soil sampling have highlighted some really interesting targets. So we'll focus on that area. We've got a ground gravity survey in process. We've got reinterpretation of seismic data underway. We've got guys on site doing mapping and further rock chip and soil sampling. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a full cultural heritage clearance completed that would enable us to commence an initial air core drilling program. So that's really our focus of our activities leading up until Christmas. And over a period of time, we will need to systematically explore the other sort of 20 kilometres of greenstone at that project. So, it's a multi-year exploration project. So just turning to our Beete project. Beete project's located just to the south of the Norseman Gold Centre. There's over 5 million ounces there. They have a little the Pantoro have a little project called Scotia Mining Centre, which is just to the north, about 10 kilometres to the north of our Beete tenement. It's got about 1 million ounces at 2 grams. This is a really prospective area for finding major gold deposits. Our tenement is actually undercover here. So we initially had trialed soil sampling as a target, as a means of targeting gold mineralization, a little bit unsuccessfully because of the Permian cover over the area. So we've had to rely more on geophysics and air core drilling to define our targets. And so this quite large tenement, it's over 20 kilometres long, 5 kilometres wide. We've done a number of systematic air core programs across the tenement. And whilst at this point we actually haven't hit a major deposit yet, we have had sniffs of gold mineralization. We've confirmed that the greenstone belts go undercover here. And we've also identified a large number of arsenic anomalies, which is a really good lead indicator for gold mineralization. The Scotia mining lodes are only typically up to 20 metres in width, and we started on 340 metre centres with our initial air core program. We've drilled down to 160, and in some areas we've drilled down to 80. So we've still got to do further infill drilling on some of those anomalies to properly test them. And we have a number of additional targets on a separate structure down at the old Beete mine, which abuts a rumours salmon gum project, where they've been they've drilled out some quite narrow 4 or 5 metre type intersections, but up to 50 grams gold. So we've got to do a little bit of air core drilling down there, and we'll focus on doing that probably in the second half of next year after we get our momentum at Mt McKenna underway. And then we have our Brimstone project. It's only 30 minutes drive to get from Kalgoorlie to our project. There's a really high quality road. It traverses the Kanowna Belle gold mine and also the Pennies Fine gold mine, which has actually been historically mined. They extracted about 18,000 ounces of it out of it at about 4.5 grams, and it has a current resource of around 63,000 ounces of 4.6. And I believe Horizon are just completing a definitive feasibility study and looking to get their project back into operation. We've got about 78 square kilometres of tenement here. We have only explored the northern fringe of those tenements. We actually have a mining license there, and there's a small deposit that we've identified called Garibaldi, and it's quite well drilled out. It's got a number of really attractive intersections in it. You can sort of see 23 metres at 2.4, 55 metres at 2 grams, 36 metres at 1.9. So it's an attractive little system. It's close to surface. It's on a mining license. and we're currently having some discussions with a number of parties to try and work out the best way of unlocking the value of this project. And being so close to Kalgoorlie, means you could do some simple small-scale mining here and get the ore processed in Kalgoorlie. So Patina's a really well-funded company. So our current market capitalization is just shy of 21 million. We've got over $11 million in the bank, giving us an enterprise value of around $9.2 million. It's just worth noting that we had previously sold one of our assets, which has generated the cash that we have, but we should be entitled to about $4.5 million worth of milestone payments, which are due next year. We're due to get $1 million in March and another $2 million probably around August. And so if you were to adjust our enterprise value for those payments coming in next year, where that effectively gives us an enterprise value of $4.6 million for all the projects that we have in our portfolio, which we think in this market is very low, and we're extremely well funded to be able to drill all of our projects without diluting shareholders. So share price catalysts going forward. Everybody loves drilling, so we'll be looking forward to getting drilling at Mt McKenna hopefully later this year. We'll get back to Beete next year to do further drilling. We're obviously looking at how we can unlock the value of our Brimstone project and join the price momentum that comes with the current gold price that we're seeing. So thank you very much for listening to the presentation. There's lots of information available on our website if you'd like to review that. But I believe I'm taking questions.
Sure. Thank you so much for those insightful updates. You have encapsulated all of that quite well. Let's take a few questions from the audience now to dive a little deeper into what's next for Platina. To start with, now that the heritage clearance at Mt McKenna has been secured, what are the next steps from here, Mr. Nolan? And could you also walk us through what comes next on the ground?
Yeah, so look, we've got a cultural heritage agreement in place. We actually don't have a cultural heritage clearance. So we have provided a notification to the traditional owners, and we're planning on getting a cultural heritage clearance over the first areas that we want to drill later in October, which would then enable us to hopefully start drilling by the end of November or early December.
Sure, that's quite encouraging to hear. And speaking of project on the ground, let's move to the phase 2 Beete drilling results. What did the drilling reveal, and what's the next phase of exploration or follow-up work you're planning there?
Yeah, so look, it's really just about continuing the infill drilling program there. So as I'd mentioned in the presentation, we had to start on very wide centers because we don't have any surface expression or any ability to use any data from the surface. So we've had to heavily rely on geophysics and air core drilling. So it's really about just closing on that drilling on the best possible structures and the areas where we've had the best historical gold results, or we're seeing the arsenic anomalies. So we'll just continue infill drilling. The air core drilling is very low cost, and that's just the most systematic way to tackle the tenement.
Sure. And that naturally brings us to the bigger strategic picture. When you evaluate projects, how do you decide whether to sell or enter a joint venture or develop it yourselves? So what factors or what benchmarks guide that decision, Mr. Nolan?
Yeah, look, that's a really good question, and possibly not an easy one to answer because every project's different. But we have a focus on trying to find the biggest possible deposit we can, and so our sort of threshold that we're looking at is 1 million ounces. So we have drilled a number of projects, like we drilled Chala last year, and we didn't get the results we wanted, so we actually let the project go. We've continued to drill our Beete project, and we'll continue to drill that out and define it because it's a very low cost. It's a very low cost project. Brimstone, look, we don't believe we're going to find 1,000,000 ounces at Brimstone, so we've made the deliberate decision that we'd rather partner that project out with someone else who can complete the drilling there and look to try and monetize the gold resources there. So it's a number of factors, but it's primarily driven by the ability to find a large deposit and maximize return to shareholders.
Sure, right. That's a thoughtful approach. On a related note, let's zoom out a bit. Do you plan to remain Western Australia gold focused, or are there ambitions to look beyond Western Australia, perhaps into other commodities or jurisdictions?
No, look, we're firmly committed to WA. It's just a very attractive mining destination. It has excellent infrastructure. If you don't find standalone gold resources, there's plants available for monetizing resources. It's really a tier one destination in terms of infrastructure, technical drilling and development capability. So we're pretty much focused on sticking with WA and staying with gold, because we believe it has an excellent outlook.
Sure, that clears a lot of things. Speaking of broadening perspectives, your own career path offers an interesting lens on that. Having said that, how has your experience at Sayona Mining influenced or shaped the way you approach things now at Platina Resources?
Yes, so I believe that we really built value at Sayona through the drill bit. So we acquired lithium projects. We drilled out and developed resources, conducted feasibility studies, and advanced the projects from essentially from exploration towards development, and that's what drove the best share price growth in our opinion. And so that's a model that we're transferring across to Patina, and we're looking to do that with gold.
Sure, that's a great connection between experience and leadership. Building on that, given your broad exposure across commodities, what excites you the most about Platina's gold projects right now, and what stands out for you personally or strategically?
So we've actually haven't done a deal on a new gold project in over 2 years. And so we were really focused, because we became well funded through the sale of our scandium project. We were able to sit back and try and identify what we believe was the most prospective project, and getting access to projects in Western Australia where you can pick up significant portions of greenstone belt that have good structure and intrusives, and hopefully the potential to host a large gold deposit is not easy, and it's certainly not getting any cheaper. So I believe that we've been very patient in our approach, and now we just need to be sort of patient in the way we approach our project from an exploration point of view, so that we don't miss any opportunities.
Fantastic. And that enthusiasm and patience really ties into a wider industry picture. Finally, how do you view the current outlook for junior gold explorers in Australia? Do you see more headwinds or opportunities in the near future, near term?
Oh, look, I think it's all, it looks quite good at the moment. There's a huge amount of interest in gold, and we've seen, the big producers have all done really well and continuing to do well at this gold price. We've started to see money trickle down through the mid tiers into the juniors, and I think one of the things that's really attractive certainly about gold projects in WA is that, often if you find something, you get taken over. So that's always really attractive.
Wonderful insights. Thank you for sharing that perspective. I'm sure our audience appreciates the clarity on both companies' direction and the broader market sentiments. Before we wrap up, I would like Mr. Nolan to give a final thought or takeaway with the audience if you would like to share.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a gold explorer that's extremely well funded and doesn't need to dilute itself anytime in the short term, we're really attractive. We've got a very low enterprise value. and we've got a great management team in place to deliver on the strategy.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again, Mr. Nolan, for your valuable insights and for taking the time to engage with our audience so thoughtfully today. Your perspectives have truly added depth to the discussion. On behalf of Kalkine Media, we sincerely appreciate your presence and contribution, and we would also like to thank everyone who have joined us today for this session. It's been a pleasure hosting for you guys, and we look forward to welcoming you again at our upcoming webinars. We hope each one of you found the session informative, and to delve further into equity and market updates, audience do visit our media site, which is www.kalkinemedia.com/au. Also, do visit our equity research website, which is www.kalkine.com.au. Stay tuned with Kalkine Media for upcoming InvestNest webinar series. I hope to see you once again. We also are very active on our social media platforms, so please stay connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If you have any questions, any queries, our email ID is info@kalkinemedia.com. Stay apprised, invest wise. Thank you once again, and have a good day.